Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Charleston White. Now, Charleston White has been in the news a lot lately, right? He's been going back and forth with China Mac. He's been going back and forth with Whack 100. He's been going back and forth with Mav Hoffa. But one person or one team of people that he really doesn't want to get into it with is the law. And it looks like the federal law enforcement, aka the FBI, had their sights on Charleston White just yesterday. Now, Charleston White was live almost all day yesterday. He pretty much did a tour through all of Fort Worth and Dallas area. He was going to the mall. He was picking up phones. He was talking to people. He was dissing his ops and people that he's into it with on social media. He was pulling up the hoods that he wasn't supposed to go to but went to anyways. Dude was on a real adventure. Now, what's crazy about this, his adventure came to a crashing halt when somebody called the FBI and let them know that Charleston White was committing some crimes that he shouldn't have been committing. Like they said that he was pretty much doing everything that you could think of. Like he had weapons, he was actually threatening people, all sorts of things, man. Now, none of this seemed to be true. But regardless of the fact, this seems similar to some of the swatting things we've seen on social media. That's one thing about social media that you have to worry about, man. There's always that potential that you're on live, you're on stream, and somebody could call in anything, man. And it looks like Charleston White, with his rise in fame, has just met that side of the game. Now, before we get to the specifics and show the video of Charleston White getting detained and also his response to having to talk to the FBI and being interviewed on the side of the road, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, so let's look at this video of Charleston White being detained.
He's talking about everybody. They done pull right up on it, crazy man.
Now, right there, you can see Charleston White in the same outfit he was wearing during his lives yesterday. I did several videos where I was talking about his situation with China Mac, where he discussed his side of things and kind of doubled down on a lot of the points that he was making. None of which that I agree with, but he said a lot of the same thing. Also talked about his upcoming shows. And somebody took this as an opportunity to call the law on him and have him arrested or at least detained. It doesn't look like he got arrested. There was no arrest warrant issued. He was detained, he was searched, and they had to make sure that everything was on the up and up. And it looks like Charleston White was put through the scare of his life, because look at him with his hands on the car right there. As a guy who totes himself as the person who will call the law on anybody and have them apprehended, this has to be a precarious position for him, man. But let's continue.
Yeah, Charleston White. Yeah, he did all that capping. They done got his image up. They all on this Facebook.
Now, he looks worried when he's getting in the back of the car, but it seems like he's like more questioning the situation. It's a far distance. And the guy who's doing the commentary here obviously does not like Charleston White. And that's another part of being famous or a celebrity. Charleston White has to realize, like, at this point, he's famous. A lot of people know who he is. So anything that happens in public from now on, similar to the situation he had in that parking lot, it's going to get videotaped. It's going to get recorded. It's going to go everywhere and everybody's going to be able to see what went down, because a lot of people cheer for Charleston White. He has a huge fan base, people who love him. But you have a lot of people who don't cheer for Charleston White, and they can't wait for him to go down in any way. And this situation seems like one of those.
Rat Williams! It's Rat Williams, y'all. Uh-oh. They done let it go. They done got him out the car.
Now, at this point, you see Charleston White walking away. So everything must have been on the up and up. Everything with him must have been cool, because the police are like, okay, you can go. That only happens when you didn't do anything. And that's one good thing about Charleston White's message. I'll say this. As a law-abiding citizen, he can behave that way, and he can actually, stand there with his chest out and his head up in these type of situations and deal with them without having any type of hesitation or anything, because he knows his record is clean, or at least he knows that he's not up to anything wrong. He's not committing any crime. In that situation, a lot of people get nervous, do crazy things, speed off in their car, and even if they're not doing something right at that moment that's illegal, that nervousness and those emotions sometimes take over. But he seems cool as a fan when he's walking off.
Yeah, he finna get on live and go to talking. Went back in the store. Well, hell, he's been.
I got picked up by the FBI.
Now, this is Charleston White going to be telling his side of the story of what happened.
While the FBI was picking me up, they was at my mama's house. Somebody called the FBI with a picture when I bought that M50 2 weeks ago.
Now, Charleston White, for those of you who don't know, has a huge gun collection. I mean, this dude's got guns on guns on guns. One of the lives that he did where he was talking about Jay Prince and mob ties and all that, and Dallas versus Houston or whatnot, he opened up his trunk and man, he had a arsenal. That's the best way to describe it, man. Weapons on weapons on weapons. And he said he had recently just bought a 50 cal or an M50 or something of that nature. So I'm wondering, man, what in the world, like, what is he preparing for? Does Charleston White know something that the rest of us don't? Or maybe it's a hobby for him. Some people, that's just a hobby, right? And he lives in Texas, so that's not an odd thing there.
They emailed that picture to the FBI today with me holding that M50 at the gun store. And they said that I got girls. Now, this is what the FBI said they said. They said I got girls held hostage with Glocks, switches, and bombs. And so what they did was they were watching my live, because they watch my live all the time. So they had Fort Worth Police Department stop me at the store and hold me. Fort Worth Police Department came to me and said, Charleston, we don't want no problems. Can you step out the car? Step out the car for what? The FBI. What FBI? FBI want, man? We or something.
Now that is the last thing you want to hear, is the FBI want to talk to you. So this is what happened. The local police saw his car, maybe ran his plates or whatever, or maybe they even just know his car because he does a lot of work with the local Fort Worth Police Department. They pulled him over, talked to him, said, hey man, we need you to come out of the car. We need to talk to you. The FBI wants to talk to you. Now, most people, their heart would sink into their stomach, man, because those are some words you don't want to mess with. The feds, the FBI, any of that, ATF, all of that, man, because you don't know where that can go. Because on the bad end of this, you could be in the cell for the rest of your life. But Charleston White, like I said, he knows that he didn't do anything wrong, or at least he feels like he didn't do anything wrong. So he just did what he had to do to get through this situation.
So I put my gun to the side, step out the car, let them search me. They went to taking too long, and I started getting scared. Man, what's taking them so long? Man, I don't know. I'm wondering the same. Is it a warrant out for my arrest? Well, no, it's not a warrant, man. The FBI.
He asked a lot of the right questions, man. He was like, instead of really, acting up or doing anything that could make the situation worse, he said, yo, why are they taking so long? And they was like, yo, we don't know. Is there a warrant out for my arrest? They was like, no, it's not. Then he was like, okay, that could give you a sigh of relief right there, just as long as there's not a warrant out for your arrest. Now, the feds play by a different rule book, but at least he knows there's not a warrant out for his arrest by asking the question.
So when the FBI get out of there, four white guys, that look like them, that take them drug dealers to jail and make them tell, all them got out the car. And they wasn't smiling. Boy, they looked at me and boy.
Those the feds, bro. They ain't no games, man. When the feds come, they talk about that, man. Everybody's worried about that. I mean, everybody, man.
I started to think, boy, by the time they opened the door, they said, Mr. White. Boy, that made me feel a little better because they were smiling now. Yeah. And they had some papers in their hand. And they said, hey, man, we got some reports that you got some hostages, some girls being held hostage. I said, oh, man. And they said, you got some Glocks with some switches. Now, do y'all want to go to the house and check the guns? They said, no, we done already been by there. I said, damn.
Yeah, man. They got resources like you wouldn't believe. So, yeah, man, they don't play.
Hey. So then they said, girls being held hostage, Glocks and switches, and what else? And so I said, man, y'all, they said, nope. I said, man, I buy guns. So they showed me the picture when I was at Cold Black Firearm when I bought that 50 cal. He said, you bought this today and been threatening people? I said, no, I bought that 3 weeks ago. Boy, folks.
So basically, somebody took a picture that he posted 3 weeks ago and sent that to the FBI, man. Now, what's crazy about these whole swatting situations and things like this, you calling these phony arrests on people, you could really put their life in danger, man. Like, that's a real deal. Like, by showing a picture of him with a gun like that and then saying that he's threatening people and stuff like that, what if they came up and they were aggressive with their approach with him instead of just giving them the benefit of the doubt?
Boy, the police showed good to me. Cause they did. They let me leave my gun in the car and lock the car door. And they didn't even put handcuffs on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they cut the AC on for me. I had got cold back there. And when I holler out, Baraha, he said, what's up, Mr. White? Man, it's cold in the back here. He said, you want me to cut it all the way out? Yeah, cut it all the way out. And let the window down some a little bit too, because I'm claustrophobic. And he done all that.
Yeah.
Now
All right, man. They did all right.
Boy, so good to know the FBI watching me.
That's the tip that a lot of people who have an issue with Charleston White should take out of this video, yo. The FBI is actively watching his lives and watching him, man. They know, man, if somebody makes a move or does something to Charleston White, they tripping, man. They tripping. You're going to lose on that one.
That show give me a level of protection and security. So I don't know why these guys would be getting on here threatening me, man. And the FBI watching me like this. They told me.
Anything about doing something till you going to the penitentiary.
Say, man, I say, how y'all know where I am? They said Instagram. We watching it. I said, show was live. And I said, how y'all know where I am? They said Instagram. I said, you sure right. I sure was.
All right, man.
Bingo. And that's the big takeaway from this situation. That Charleston White, he's built a level of fame and he's built a level of attention around him, right? And at this point, he's got different entities in the law enforcement that are looking at him. He's got his fans out there looking at him. He's even got his haters looking at him. So, man, going on in the future, hopefully he can avoid situations like this. But, man, as people get famous, we've seen this happen to a lot of YouTubers, to a lot of streamers on Twitch and other platforms where they were live and got swatted, man. Some people, for some reason, do that. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking about the danger that it brings on another person, you know? But what do y'all think about this? Is this just a product of fame, or is it the fact that Charleston White has been saying some things recently, or man, not even recently, for a long time, that have upset certain people or different people, that, man, this situation played out the way that it did? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell, so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content, and we out of here. Peace.